Nakuambanerea usitoe mimba yangu Mungu akileta mtoto analeta sani yake nleta ntelea usitoe mimba yangu Mungu akileta mtoto analeta sani yake. How many of you understood what I sang? Or rather, how many of you would like to know what it means? Language is a beautiful thing, isn't it? I love languages because we can identify each other through it, attract each other through it, and be free and successful through it. Are you free? Are you successful? Raise your hand. Okay, one last question, and I swear, you won't have to raise your hand again. Who believes that learning a language can bring you both success and freedom? All right, let me tell you an interesting story. I was in second year of junior high school. My Spanish teacher used to shout at me, will not allow it. While everyone laughed, she looked very disappointed. You see, she was not disappointed. I could not pronounce the r correctly. She was disappointed because I did not understand that success could come through learning Spanish. Language was abstract to me. It was forced upon me like gravity is upon us. I could not get away from it. I did not understand what success and freedom were until I learned my first foreign language. That's right. And it took me learning another 3 to truly understand what they meant. But don't worry. You won't have to learn 4 languages to be free or successful. I would score poorly in tests and blame everything on my anatomy. My teachers used CDs, books, and even movies, but it was so detached from me that I gave up. I would score poorly in tests and blame everything on my anatomy. What I know and can tell you is that everyone in this room is successful. Success is within you and ready to be used. It's up to us to harness it. If you don't, someone else will use the success within you to increase their own success capital. So now, let me repeat this. We are all successful, but it's up to us to reach out to it, grab it, use it with care and attention. I don't know much, but I know this much. Success is shy. He will not come to you, nor will it come knocking at your door. He may not even show up at all unless you call it, reach out to it, and own it. Freedom. Freedom is the ability to use that success freely without any mental or physical limits. Most of us are scared to use that success freely. We just let it go without even trying. That thing that stops us from trying is called fear. Fear of being successful, fear of speaking a foreign language, fear of being great. If you see fear, call 911 as it is wanted for mass murder. Its bounty is greater than the top 10 wanted men on the CIA watch list, for it kills more people's dreams and goals than money ever did. Money never is the issue. Fear is. Fear will keep you depressed, baffled, and belittled, and will turn you into a wisher. Wishers are numerous. You know what a wisher is, don't you not? It's a type of person that wishes they could speak French, wishes they could speak to that Swedish chick, wishes they could understand Korean dramas, etc. If you wish you could speak a language, guess what? You just graduated as a wisher. Will you struggle? Oh yes, you will. No doubt about that. You will want to give up many times and stop learning. Now remember, there is no such a thing as a straight river. That river swirls around obstacles. It goes through rocks, steadfast on the race, on its own race. That's right, there is no clock or world record to be broken here. You have to follow your own pace and keep at it. Stephen King's first book was rejected 30 times before success showed up. Walt Disney was fired by his editor-in-chief for lack of imagination. Can you imagine that? Michael Jordan was cut out of his high school team. Sorry, that always cracks me out. We all know what happened next. We all know the story. Life was not given to you to be regretted. I regret I couldn't speak French. Come on. You regret you couldn't use the freedom to fight off fear so you could use the success within to speak French. Don't be that person. I can freely speak English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Swahili, and other foreign languages successfully. What about you? Now, I would like to take you into this hypothetical world. Imagine you could speak Chinese. You can speak to more than 1.4 billion people in the world, and you have access to the largest market on earth, and you can enjoy amazing Chinese cuisine. Imagine you could speak Spanish. You could speak to more than 414 million people on earth, travel to the whole of Latin America without any problem, with the exception of Brazil, and understand all the soap operas coming out from Mexico. Imagine you could speak Japanese. You could speak to more than 122 million people on earth. You could join the gaming industry and master calligraphy. Are you willing to put in the hard work? Imagine you could speak French. You could speak with more than 220 million people on earth, and you could get into the wine business and the fashion industry. The other day, a friend of mine in Kenya wished she could speak French so she could go there and study fashion design. Do you see the pattern? My question to you is, are you willing to put in the hard work? So, you speak English? That's great. We don't need to imagine that one. You can speak to more than 315 million people, and those are only the native speakers. You can go online and enjoy English content all day long. All top movies in the world come out of the USA, and world businesses are held in that language. My question to you is, so what? Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. Are you willing to be free and successful? I hope you are, because this is only the beginning of a globalized roller coaster that is going to take you through highs and lows faster than you can say hi. The road to language mastery is a long and difficult one. It can be, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need a decade to speak a language, nor do you need to spend hundreds of dollars to find suitable learning tools or get blisters on your hands writing lines after lines to memorize the language. So as far as language learning is concerned, babies don't spend a decade learning their parents' language, nor do they spend any money at all to find suitable learning methods, and they certainly don't have blisters on their hands trying to learn them. Speak to the people. Speak to the mentors who've done it before you. Speak to the people who've learned how to learn a language before you. But for God's sakes, stop killing yourself trying to learn a language. The learning struggle experienced by all of us at school is not just an educational issue, it's not just a national issue, but it's a global pandemic. Speaking and communicating are probably the single most crucial factors for humans as well as society development. Being able to speak a language anywhere, anytime is vital to our children's future. Why do I say so? This is because so many walls of shame have been built in the name of ignorance. Ignorance of a different language. I believe if the different tribe people in Kenya spoke each other's language, there would be less conflict because they can understand one another. Ignorance of a different culture. My friend went to the United States in 2000 for a school exchange program, and she was staying with that little kid, right? And that kid asked her if we French people had TVs inside our living room, and whether or not our toilets were inside the house or in our backyard. Ignorance of different race. That happened on a hot summer day in Shanghai. I was standing, looking good, all gangster-like, and just standing in the bus, and suddenly a grandmother got on the bus, looked at me, and froze. She used her finger and her figure came towards my arm, and she touched me like this. And a second time, just to make sure if I was not dirty or maybe wearing some kind of makeup. Or when I sat in that Japanese metro and all the Japanese around me stood up and went to sit somewhere else. So, if you are concerned about your future, you should be concerned about language learning. If you are concerned about racism and that fear of others, you should be concerned about language learning. Finally, if you don't want to go through the same walk of pain as I did, at the very least, you have to learn how to learn. You have to find out why this is happening. You have to understand why we can't learn languages. You must be convinced to bring about a solution to it. But fortunately for you, you are not alone. I am here with you. My mission is to change the way languages are learned and experienced by integrating the language learning process into your day-to-day life. So how do you learn a language? Follow this three-dimensional learning system. Number one, profile your learning type. What I want you to find out how you learn best and which tools are the most suitable to your learning profile. What is MI? Multiple intelligences. It's a beautiful thing. It helps us determine through a quick online test what type of learner you are and what makes you tick. So here we have the 8 MI. You don't use a book because you are body smart and rather role plays and social interaction. Number two, familiarize your environment. Primary environment is your home. How to name every single item inside your house in that foreign language. From the carpet to the kettle, the bottle, all the way up to the ceiling. Secondary environment. This is outside of your home. You will pick the 3 top routes that you use throughout your week. For illustration's sake, I'm going to use my 3 top routes. Home to the gym, home to school, home to the supermarket. After 3 months, you will be the king of your street, the king of your neighborhood. Number 3, you need to have a study plan, guys. You need to set up a reasonable study regimen. Although you need to set aside enough time in your schedule dedicated to learning, block of 7 hours without a break, because this will set you up for failure. You can study less if you know how to study correctly. Don't be a slave of time. Use time to your advantage, and above everything else, enjoy every minute. Congratulations, guys. You are a fully fledged language chameleon. You see, you don't have to be special to use this method. People who use this method are creative souls yearning to be more than just statistics in society. They are learning a language not like any other subject. They are out there to learn how to learn. They are out there to learn a language using creative and artistic tools. I know in the eye of society that looks crazy. I know I am. But in craziness lies creativity. Now remember, we are all successful. But do you have the freedom to own it? So, believe in yourself. It's my turn, turn, turn. It's my turn, turn, turn. It's my turn, turn, turn.